Alright guys, what's up? This is Max, and I'm going to do another walkthrough on Rebirth Island of the lab and the tank part that everyone has a bunch of trouble with. So first I'm going to go ahead and do the lab with you guys. And basically, you can clear these guys out right here any method you want. This is just my way of doing it, just sitting there, just shooting them. There's going to be a couple guys that you're going to try and sit behind there. There's going to be one that SWAT rolls to that corner directly down there. You're going to get an occasional grenade or two, and then there's going to be a guy right to this door where he just ran out of. There's going to be one guy in there. And this level I think is mostly about pattern, so just do whatever you can to get over here. That's a really easy part, so it's just getting those first couple guys cleared out, and then getting over here is the easy part. And then this part right here is the only hard part I think of the lab. Is you got to get to where that guy is, I think, to stop the spawns. So clear him out, work the hallway a little bit, watch those windows, and then watch this door directly to the right as you saw when I was running over. And after you do that, make sure there's no one in there, make sure the hallway is clear. I would run up here with your shotgun, but also be careful of this window where I'm getting shot from, because I died at least a dozen times doing this part, dying right there. But eventually after you get it, there's a guy that might be right there, and there might be a guy that runs around that corner. But in my case there wasn't, so I got lucky. There was a couple of them right there that I was able to take out with my shotgun. And Reznov at this point is going to run up in here and start taking guys out for you too, so you don't really have to worry about getting shot from dead ahead. It's those windows you have to worry about at this point. But I don't think anyone's going to respawn, and you're left with just a couple enemies in that room that's directly across from you. So like I said, just use that pattern, and eventually after a couple deaths and you figure out what you're doing, you should be able to get it. And after you do this part, clean these enemies up and walk around a little bit and make sure there's no one left. And after you do that, you're going to want to pull your shotgun out and jump through that window and aim at the door as soon as you're running around, because there's going to be a guy that is going to run through that door, and if you're ready for him, he won't kill you, and then you can get your checkpoint. But if you aren't ready, he's going to kill you, and you're going to have to start this all over, because you don't get your checkpoint until after you kill him. So I'm going to go right here, aim at the door, here he comes, and he's gone. Now move over here so you don't die. Don't move up like I did. You could die from the guy up in that window. And I died, so that's why I'm going to take you right to this part. This part's fairly easy, but if you die, you're going to want to be careful, because that guy might respawn right in front of you like he did for me. You take those guys out, and you're going to want to shoot those guys up in the window first. There's going to be either one right there, and then the other one's going to run right over where he is, or there's going to be one right there and another one in that same position, one window over. So after you clear both of those out, run over to where Reznov is, and there's going to be a guy that runs down where I'm aiming with a shotgun or a machine gun of some type. I can't really see the gun and I don't remember. And then I would move up here and watch up in that window for one or two guys that are going to be peeking around that corner like those other guys, the first two were. And then there's a guy that's in a chamber sorry, in the chamber where I think there's Nova 6 that gets released, and he either stays in there and dies or he runs out like he did. And the only enemies that are left are the ones that are over in the corner over here, and you can just throw a grenade and then run behind this piece of equipment and just clean them up. And I'm just going to do that real quick. There's only, I think there's 4 or 5 of them, maybe a couple more. But after you do this is all that you have to do for the labs. And if you don't know what you're doing, it can be a pain, but once you figure it out, it actually seemed, after going through it my second or third time, it actually seemed a lot easier than what it was. And this is the second time doing the voiceover for this, because I had 2 of the scenes mixed up and I didn't notice it until right at the end. So I might have forgotten something that I said the first time, and I might not have said it, so if I missed anything and you have any questions, let me know. This is going to trigger your cutscene. I'm not going to ruin what happens for you guys since this is near the end of the game. So I cut this part out since it's just a cutscene, and after this you go to the tank scene, which you'll see coming up right here. I have my introduction for it just so you guys can see where we're at. And in the tank part, this part seems to give a lot of people trouble, and it's basically more one part than another, and it's near the end of it. But as what I would do is I would use your grenade launcher to clear groups of enemies out, and vehicles out that bring enemies in, or enemies near vehicles, because it's more efficient and the machine gun overheats a lot. So I would just use that to clean people up. And make sure you take out these guys with the rockets first. Make sure you make them your primary focus right after you clear those guys out and start shooting up there, because they'll take you out and you're going to have to start that short bit over again. But you're going to get a checkpoint. This is pretty easy right here. You're going to start getting checkpoints up here. It's a really short part, but I died on accident right there somehow. I guess I missed my grenade launch. But I'm gonna resume to the point right here where I just pretty much run straight through the level. After I make it around this corner, I die again and I make it through the rest of the level. But that's all the shorter, like this part is with the tank. So once you get by this part, that's really all you have left that's a challenge in this level. There's vehicles again. Like I said, I shouldn't have shot him with my machine gun. I should have used my grenade launcher, like I was telling you guys earlier. And then as soon as you come around here, you will die. So try and last as long as you can, just so that you can guarantee your checkpoint comes up. Mine came up right at the last second. I got lucky. But everyone dies right there, and that's what gives people the most trouble. So after you spawn, be prepared like I was. Turn the corner and start shooting up there and clearing those guys out, and then start firing grenade launchers down low, and maybe one or two up there. So once you clear those guys out, that's usually the hard part. And right here, start clearing those guys on the roof up and shooting the guys on the ground with your grenade launcher. Basically the same thing, just a little bit of a longer part. And really, that's the hardest part for that. And then you just got to make sure that there's going to be some guys that run across right where that opening is. So make sure you hit them. You can see them kind of moving right now, shooting. And that's basically all you do for this part. It's actually pretty easy, and people get it blown out of proportion on how hard it is because they actually don't know the exact way to do it. But hopefully that part helps you guys all. There's another good cutscene right there. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. If you have done the mission, you know what's going to happen. If not, you do. So thanks for watching, guys.